Hey everybody, Hank Winchester, Help Me Hank. We appreciate you spending some time with us here on Local 4 Plus. We have a lot to get to today. We're going to be taking a look at Flint, 11 years after the water crisis started. Some surprising news from the EPA regarding the water quality. And also, you may be surprised to hear the reaction to that information that we learned from the EPA. You're going to be hearing from the former mayor of Flint, the woman that was in charge of the city at the height of the crisis, a very revealing conversation with her that you'll hear in a moment. Also, we're going to be sharing with you some travel advice. I talked with a leading travel expert, somebody that gets a lot of likes and attention on Instagram because she shares insider information for all of us that are carrying around thousands of extra points or miles. She's kind of a mile hacking genius, providing insider information, tips, and tricks to help you get the most bang for your buck if you are planning any summer travel. And then we're going to be talking to Dr. Frank McGeorge. He is live today at our Go Forward event. It is a free event, hands-only CPR. Local 4 teaming up with the fire department and the city of Detroit to provide this life-saving training for all of you here in our area today. As I mentioned, though, we're going to start the show here talking about the city of Flint. It's hard to believe it has been 11 years, giving you a live look there at the vehicle city. But the good news that came out recently was from the EPA lifting the emergency order for Flint's water, saying that the 17 tests that were recently done show that there are no high levels of lead, no high levels of copper, that in fact the city of Flint's water is now meeting the national standard. I had an opportunity to speak with Karen Weaver, who was mayor of Flint during the crisis back in 2014, 2015. I talked with her yesterday regarding the EPA news, and I want you to take a listen to that conversation. All right, so the EPA coming out saying that the water is now safe here in Flint. What are your thoughts on that?
I was disappointed.
Why?
You know, because I felt like here we go again. I think that's misleading to the people because we know that there may be some people where they feel comfortable, but so many of the residents in Flint do not feel comfortable. One of the things we've talked about is this pipe replacement, and while most of the pipes have been completed, we know that there are still those that have not had this completed. We still know that people had their in-home plumbing and fixtures that have not been addressed. And so to say the water is safe is very misleading, and it doesn't really acknowledge what the people of Flint have gone through.
Yeah. What about the idea that, you know, the testing can show that the water's okay, the pipe replacement is a lot of progress, but how do you fix public trust?
Right, how do you fix public trust? Really, it's one of the things that we want to do to fix public trust is have those open, honest conversations, transparent conversations, but for us to just see something on, you know, I think we got it through social media. I don't know where he came and said this, but many people didn't even know that it had taken place. And so the way we get our information makes us not trust. You know, we haven't had town halls to talk about these kinds of things at all.
What would you say to people? You know, there are people who say the crisis is over, the problems in Flint are over. What would you say to those people?
I would say that the problems in Flint are not over. Like I said, I think, have we made progress in some areas? Yes. Are we almost completed? Yes. But I mean, we were almost completed when I was still in office. Yeah. You know, that was a long time ago. And for that not to be finished, you know, when you look at some of the water projects for our infrastructure that were supposed to have taken place and be completed or almost completed, we have about 27 projects that still have not been completed as far as our water infrastructure. And so those are the kinds of things that make people not trust. When we don't get those notices that we should be getting, when you need a boil water alert kinds of things, we don't get that information and those regular updates about what is going on with our water. When people haven't been held accountable, you know, people have a lot of emotional anger right now, which we should, you know, we still should, because no one has been held accountable for what has happened in Flint. And so it makes it difficult to trust when we know the people that did these things to us have gotten away with everything they've gotten away with. No one has gotten any money yet, and we're supposed to be excited by something that EPA after EPA after EPA has told us.
Yeah. When you talk about the criminal parts of this, I mean, the idea that we're 11 years out from this doesn't look like we're any closer to anyone being held responsible for this in any criminal capacity. How difficult is that for you to digest?
You know what, it's interesting because right now I'm very angry. And sometimes, you know, it lessens, but when you hear these kinds of reports, you know, I was telling somebody today, I'm angry. It's angering and it's misleading to the people. And I think it's very dismissive of what we have been through.
What about the financial payout? I mean, we were told that the people of Flint would all be getting money because of the problems associated with it.
And
no money has been paid out.
No money has been paid out. And you remember, I asked for much more money than what was settled for. And for no one to have gotten a dime, and it's 11 years now, that is absolutely awful. And you know me, I'm going to say that it's been one slap after another slap in the face to these residents. It really has. You look at what's going on, you know, you see a lot of violence going on, and you see these young people, and you start thinking about, okay, 11 years ago, how old were they, and drinking this water. And it's sad. It's sad.
Do you think trust will ever come back, or do you think that damage, that's just too much to come back from?
You know what, it is. It's a whole lot to come back from. And even though we were trying to come back from it, when one thing after another, you know, every year you're told, okay, the money's coming, okay, the money's coming, and it never happens. Okay, somebody's going to have charges, and it never happens. It's hard to regain that kind of trust. And sometimes you can never, you know, recover from that.
What about your own house? Filter still on the faucet?
Yes.
Gonna stay there?
Yes.
I mean, that's the reality. You knock on almost any door here, somebody's either got a filter, they're drinking bottled water.
Exactly.
It doesn't really matter how many EPA tests. Now, having said all that, it's great to hear that the quality has returned, that the testing is safe, no lead, no copper. But I just don't think that the people here really process that.
No, we don't. And sometimes it's rightfully so when you have been misinformed and lied to over and over and over again. Why should I believe you when every day you say, I'm going to give you some money, you're going to get some money. Every day we say, we're going to finish these pipes, you know. And we were told that water would be given to us until this happened. People are coming out of their pockets to buy bottled water. It's just not right.
What would you say to our viewers in Detroit who just assume everything here is now okay?
You know what, and it's not even just Detroit. Everywhere I go, people think everything is fixed with Flint. Flint is good, and I want them to know that Flint is not good. Flint has not been made whole. Flint will never be made whole. And we weren't even made as whole as we should have been, because we know that whatever is done can't, you know, replace what has happened to us. It can't fix it. But they haven't even tried.
Revealing information and perspective from the former mayor of Flint, Karen Weaver. Again, the good news in this entire situation, those EPA findings revealing that the water in the city of Flint is finally safe. It has been for the last 17 trials that they've tested the water, the copper levels, and also the lead levels. But as you hear in Weaver's voice, there are a lot of people in Flint who are still very discouraged, upset with the lack of criminal action moving forward, and also the fact that the people in that city who were promised money from the state and from the insurance still have not received a dime. It is a story that we will continue to follow, and we have much more for you, including a blog and some insider perspective at clickondetroit.com. Earlier today, I had the opportunity to speak with Julia. She is a points and mileage expert. She runs the IG account GeoBreeze Travel and also shares a lot of information on her YouTube channel. We were talking to her about Delta Airlines, which, as you see right there, Detroit Metro, Delta, a major hub here in Detroit, Atlanta, Minneapolis, and that means the majority of people flying out of Detroit typically are hopping Delta Airlines flights. But if you are one of these people that tracks your mileage, that maybe takes advantage of different rewards and offers using the Delta Airlines Amex, is that necessarily the right strategy? If you have a lot of these points kind of banked, what is the best move moving forward if you are somebody who's looking to book maybe a flight here around the country, or if you're looking for international travel? Here's some of my conversation earlier today with Julia.
It's like they say in The Incredibles, if everybody is super, then no one really is. So if everybody has Delta status, then a lot of those exclusive perks that you would find with status, those upgrades, the lounge access, all of that, it feels a lot less exclusive. So the strategy that I would recommend to get around that is you don't necessarily need to be that loyal to any particular airline. My strategy and my go-to when booking international business class flights is just to use flexible frequent flyer programs. So I focus on programs like Bilt, Chase, Capital One, American Express, programs where you can easily move between different airlines, and that way you're not beholden to just one frequent flyer program like Delta in case they do change up their rules and requirements like we've seen in recent months.
Is it important when you are a supporter of a particular airline, like in this case in our market, Detroit, that if you are booking international or you're looking for those opportunities to use less miles to book, that you look at other carriers that they may be affiliated with rather than just the major carrier, the brand Delta that we know? I mean, Delta does have partners that it works with globally.
Absolutely. So Delta is part of the SkyTeam Alliance, and oftentimes you might be able to find the exact same Delta flights being sold for fewer miles if you look on Air France's website or Virgin Atlantic's website, fewer miles than what it would cost to book with Delta directly. So being well versed in the international programs and how to take advantage of those, even if you don't fly internationally, can actually really help you save a lot on points and miles when it comes to domestic flights as well.
A lot of great perspective and insider information from Julia, again, with Geo Breeze Travel. You can find her on YouTube. You can follow her IG. She provides a lot of insider perspective and tips and tricks to help you get the most bang for your buck when we're talking about the airlines and specifically miles. We're going to have more with her on Local 4. And of course, as I mentioned, you can follow her on IG. More than 300,000 followers, a lot of people with interest in how to navigate all of this when we're talking about airline miles and also how to get the best deal out there. Speaking of deals, one thing that may prevent you from getting a lot of deals this summer, the tariffs. We're talking about 4 items in particular that will likely cost more starting in the month of June. We're looking at clothing. We're looking at fireworks, anything involving air conditioning units, whether you have to repair one or whether you have to purchase a brand new one, and also travel. A lot of predictions about what could happen with the travel market and airline prices because of the tariffs. Here's a look at my recent report. Come with us as we do a little bit of shopping. Soon, tariffs could impact your summer budget. Ann in Southfield tells me she's already feeling the financial pain. Are you budgeting differently? Are you trying to save? Trying to budget?
I want to fix income, so I try to budget.
Right now, I'm looking at 4 main areas where tariffs could impact your summer budget. We're talking about clothing, fireworks, air conditioning, and summer travel. Okay, what if you need to do some shopping for the kids? Understand the price of clothing, it is going to go up, and soon. Take a look right here. Made in China. You have to pay attention because if these items are coming from overseas, the cost could get passed on to you. When it comes to your AC, servicing, or buying new, it will soon cost you more. Here's home improvement expert Adam Helfman.
This is made with a lot of steel, even though they're assembled in the United States, a lot of them. A lot of the parts come from China or foreign countries. The tariffs are raising the prices between 10 and 30% on new units.
Okay. What if I just need my old unit repaired, if there's a broken part in here?
Believe it or not, the repair parts are just as expensive.
The price of fireworks could soon be soaring, the majority produced in China. Here's financial expert Dewey Steffen.
In fact, over 90% of fireworks are foreign made. And I suspect that the increased prices will be passed on to us, the consumers, as the local small businesses are really not set up to absorb them.
Here inside Exotic Fireworks in Dearborn Heights, the owner, Patrick, he's tracking the tariffs closely.
I understand what he's doing. It's just certain businesses are going to be hurt more than others.
And finally, the major airlines and big resorts keeping an eye on the tariffs and also people's financial concerns this summer. Summer travel expected to be down, but prices, they could go up. We have much more for you regarding the tariffs, how they get impact not only summer travel, but also almost every item that we purchase, including automobiles. All that information for you right now at clickondetroit.com. Well, we have another big Go For It event that is getting underway today. This one involves life-saving tools and training. We're talking about free Hands-only CPR. Local 4 teaming up with the city of Detroit and also the Detroit Fire Department to offer this training to anyone that would like to stop by and learn more about this. I want to take you live out to Local 4 Dr. Frank McGeorge. He's been there throughout most of the day. Doc, how's it going out there?
Hey, good, Hank, actually. You know, we've had a pretty steady turnout, and we've actually been able to keep up with the flow. So I would encourage anybody, because the weather's crummy outside anyway, if you want to learn hands-only CPR, you can just come on down. You don't even need to pre-register. We can take walk-ins as it is. Like I said, we've got a pretty steady flow, and people are able to learn hands-only CPR right away. But the other thing that's really kind of cool is we have free health screenings courtesy of the Detroit Health Department as well. And so, you know, with me right now is Tamiko Drew. She is the Director of Nursing with the Detroit Health Department. And so, Tamiko, tell me what kinds of services we have available today.
Oh gosh, Dr. McGeorge, we have our neighborhood wellness center services. Our neighborhood wellness centers are located across the city of Detroit. We have 7 locations because Detroit Health, we want to keep it easy for the community. So we want everyone to be able to have access. We offer diabetes screening, hypertension screening, which is blood pressure screening, of course, cholesterol screening, COVID-19, and flu testing. We also have our community health worker services so that the people are able to get referred to the right places and have access to all types of resources and wraparound services.
And, you know, I was actually surprised. The testing that you're doing for both cholesterol and diabetes is pretty extensive. You get full cholesterol panel and you get a hemoglobin A1C, which is basically testing for how high your blood sugar has been over a long period of time. It's not just a single blood sugar.
Right. Right. So we offer these services and to make it easy for everyone. And the good thing about it is it's free.
Yeah. Now, in your wellness centers, how are people able to get plugged in, and where should they go if they want to get something that they can't necessarily come for today?
So our wellness centers are open throughout the week, every day except Sunday. We have different locations with different hours. Those can be accessed on our website, detroitmi.gov/health, with our hours and our dates that we are there. And they're walk-in services.
Well, and so what are some of the other resources that we have available here? Like, what are some of the other tables?
So right here we have our behavioral health team, and we have naloxone for administration in the community. Mm-hmm. We also have our community health worker table, and our community health worker, you can see that he is providing all types of resources for the people in the community, even the neighborhood wellness centers. You can see where they're located at. Mm-hmm. And then we also have behind us and over in the corner, we have immunizations. So we know that the flu is on the decline, but we are offering flu and COVID-19 vaccinations today.
And that's tremendous. And so, you know, if you weren't able to come out today, you could certainly come to any of your community wellness centers.
You can come to any community wellness center. Look on the website. That's where we're listed at with all the dates, the times, the hours, all of that good stuff. And then we have our on-site location at MAC for immunizations and any other services at 100 MAC Avenue, located between John R. and Woodward. And we also have a satellite location, which is 5555 Connor.
Excellent. And again, most importantly, it's all free.
It's all free. And let me give the telephone number too. You can reach any department at 313-876-4000, and that's the Detroit Health Department, and we're going beyond the walls to make sure you get the care that you deserve.
Thank you so much, Tamiko. I really appreciate it. It was great for you to come out. You know, one other thing I want to highlight is, you know, the CPR training that's being done. Normally when we teach CPR training, we tell people to get down on their knees on the ground. But one of the things that I found really interesting here is because a lot of our residents have trouble getting down on their knees, we actually are teaching people how to do CPR on an elevated surface, like a table. And here we'll just pause and listen to her doing CPR.
Perfect. Just a little bit deeper. Slow it down. Speed it up. So there we go. Not too bad. Very good. Up some more, and then deep. There we go.
And you can see how easy it really is. I mean, this is something that I think people just need to have practice doing, because the basics of doing CPR, hands-only CPR, I should say, essentially just mean compressing the chest hard, that is to a depth of 2 inches, and fast, 120 compressions per minute. It's that simple. Press hard, press fast. But the fact is, until you come out and you actually do it on a mannequin, you don't really have a good sense of feedback, I should say, of how hard you need to do it, and ultimately how tiring it can be. So I really recommend that people come out and have some opportunity to practice on a mannequin with some real feedback. These mannequins are great because they show you how deep you're compressing the chest, and they show you exactly like what the right rate is. So you get like a green light, right, literally a green light right away when you're compressing fast enough and deep enough. And that kind of feedback is really important to make sure that you're doing quality CPR, because what we do know is that, first of all, if you're doing quality CPR, you can almost double a person's chance of surviving a cardiac arrest. And we also know, though, that after time, when you're doing CPR, basically a couple of minutes, you will begin to fatigue. And so when you do CPR on an actual mannequin and you practice, you'll get a good sense of what that point is for you where you're likely to get tired. And if you feel like you're getting tired, then you would have a second person come in ideally and relieve you and, basically do better CPR than you can do because you're getting tired. What do you think, Hank?
Yeah, it makes sense, Dr. McGeorge. And like you said, it's always good just to get the practice, have the experts kind of looking over your shoulder before you need it in a real life emergency. Thanks for your time, Dr. McGeorge. I'll be out there in just a little bit, so I'll see you this afternoon.
Hey, we'll see you. Looking forward to it. Take care, Hank.
All right, you too. Here's all the information that you need. As you heard Dr. McGeorge say, you don't need to make an appointment. You can just stop on by. It's raining anyway. They're going to be there from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Coleman A. Young Recreational Center, that is right on Robert Bradley Drive in Detroit. We have more information for you at clickondetroit.com. We appreciate you spending some time with us here on Local 4 Plus. Remember, if you need to get in touch with me, again, all you have to do is head right over to clickondetroit.com. We hope you have a great day, everybody. Take care.